Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I was planning on recording a video tonight giving you all my impressions of the Fallout 76 Bethesda beta on PC, which is only natural as this is a primarily PC gaming focused channel. And while I shall always repeat the mantra, thou shalt not pre-order, I did pre-order the Bethesda game so I could provide all of you with what I had hoped to be valuable information regarding what you can expect with the PC version of the Bethesda game on launch. Unfortunately, Bethesda pulled a Bethesda, and their Bethesda launcher has gone full Bethesda and has proven itself to be completely bugged, as is very common with anything developed by Bethesda. In order to give full meaning to what has happened, allow me to paint you a bit of a Bethesda word picture. I received the Bethesda email on Friday that the Bethesda beta was now available for preload prior to the Tuesday Bethesda beta. As I am on a 24 meg download, I discovered that for me to download the Bethesda game via the Bethesda launcher, it would take approximately between 5.5 and 6 hours to download. So I left the Bethesda launcher open to download the Bethesda Fallout 76 game in order to be able to investigate said Bethesda beta on Tuesday, which is today for those of you that weren't keeping track. So I opened the Bethesda launcher today and saw that the Bethesda beta timer was counting down to 2 p.m. Pacific, which I thought was rather odd that the Bethesda timer would show such a time when right there in the Bethesda launcher I saw with my very own eyes that Bethesda stated that the Bethesda beta for PC would begin at 4 p.m. Pacific. An oddity that I commented about to Bethesda on Twitter in regards to how the Bethesda developers Bethesda'd their launcher and Bethesda was not even capable of telling time correctly, to which one of my viewers pointed me to a Bethesda support article in which Bethesda stated that Mr. Handy was broken, because of course it is. Bethesda did program it after all, and that Bethesda had reset poor Mr. Handy back to defaults in order to prevent another Bethesda cock-up from happening again. And little did I know that my mockery of Bethesda's incompetence on Twitter was, much to my dismay, precognition in the extreme, and unbeknownst to Druidia, but now known to us, the Bethesda launcher, thanks to the Mr. Handy bug, had turned into a ticking time bomb for those of us that are curious clickers of buttons. You see, as once the Bethesda countdown timer had reached 0, like the curious little troll that I am, I clicked on the Bethesda button within the Bethesda launcher and I received the error message that is on your screen now. I also noticed that the Bethesda launcher was attempting to re-download the Bethesda game and failed, because of course it would. This is Bethesda after all, but that's ridiculous. The Bethesda game is already installed, or at least it was. Again, thanks to Bethesda pulling a Bethesda, this little Bethesda bug has actually deleted the 50 plus gigabytes worth of Bethesda data that contained the new Bethesda beta that I was so keen on recording Bethesda game footage of to be able to share with all of you, my dear lovely viewers. Bethesda then released a statement on Twitter where Bethesda said not to push the buttons that I myself had already pushed multiple times, because of course I did. I mean, why wouldn't you? While Bethesda themselves completely ignored the concept of the rebellious human, where if you tell people not to do a thing, then that is, of course, obviously the very first thing they're going to do. Some out of curiosity, some out of spite, some out of pure rebelliousness, while others will continue to do so simply because they naturally don't follow Bethesda on Twitter, and they are smart enough to know instinctively that Twitter is not the center of the goddamn universe. And yes, for those of you looking to defend Bethesda from my verbally berating them over their innate Bethesda-ness, there is no need. I recognize that even Bethesda has enough brain cells to rub together to be able to formulate the concept of doing whatever they can to get the word out for people to not do the very thing that human nature would have them already do, heedless of all warnings. So now here I sit, staring at a Bethesda launcher, talking into a microphone, contemplating the fact that this is Bethesda and such things are to be expected due to the aforementioned Bethesda's innate Bethesda-ness. It's a bit like the story of the Bethesda scorpion riding across the river on the back of the amphibious gamer. The gamer knows this is an untamed Bethesda. We all know what a Bethesda is and what it is capable of doing, and yet, despite all of that history, all of that knowledge, all of that experience with Bethesda and Bethesda-developed games, of Bethesda being Bethesda and doing Bethesda things, we still make certain expectations of Bethesda because we gave Bethesda money. Namely, that Bethesda would not completely screw up the Bethesda launcher and delete the Bethesda game data that takes longer to re-download than the length of the joke that Bethesda calls the Bethesda beta. But just like the Scorpion, Bethesda is a creature that can only be what it is. It is in Bethesda's nature to completely screw up even their own Bethesda launcher for their own Bethesda beta 2 hours before the Bethesda beta launches for PC. Not only that, but Bethesda's beta itself is a complete joke anyways, but that is something that I want to go more in depth in within its own self-contained video, as that will be a topic of betas over the years, what they used to be versus what they are now, and how Bethesda's own Bethesda beta is neither a beta as we knew them, nor was this a beta that we have come to expect with companies like Electronic Arts. Bethesda, in all of their innate and monumental Bethesda-ness, have managed to Bethesda things up to the point where Bethesda has managed to actually create a new form of beta that is at the same time a bastardization of traditional betas and of the EA hype betas, while actually being neither of those at the same time. So, I will shake my head, close the Bethesda launcher that is trying in vain to download the Bethesda game before the Bethesda beta ends, and edit and upload this video instead. Because right now, at least for me, editing a video for all of you is far more satisfying and fulfilling of an experience than the Bethesda beta that inevitably succumbed to Bethesda-ness in completely broken grand Bethesda fashion. Now, thank you so much for watching. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.